Why, hello there, and welcome to another StarCraft 2 cast with Killing Esports. I'm your host for this evening, Inglewood, and it will be my pleasure to cast this ZvP for you here on Daybreak. I apologize, my co-caster Snurderperds is unavailable this evening to join me, as his Guild War 2 character is having a bit of an emotional crisis, and he needs all his attention there. But worry not, I think we'll be just fine by ourselves. Enough of that. Starting in the southwest position, the blue Zerg Swaggaholic is going to be facing off against his opponent, the red Protoss in the northeast corner, Spacemaggot. Which sounds a bit like a Zerg name to me, in my opinion. Spacemaggot pylon down at the front of his natural base, so he's going to be taking a quick second base, and he's going to scout with his first probe, see what the Zerg is doing. You'll see no quick expansion out for the Zerg, no crazy 6-pool antics, no crazy 10-pool, nothing like that. Standard looking opening. And we'll see what kind of damage he can get this probe to be doing. Maybe harass the workers a little bit, or steal 5 minerals or something. Overlord's going to poke out and do their thing. Overlord number 1 going to head over to the natural expansion of Spacemaggot and take up its position there. Overlord number 2 just keeping his eyes peeled here, make sure there's no proxy cannons or anything. Looks like the probe is actually pretty bold. He has big plans for taking down this hatchery all by himself. But a couple of drones are going to ward him away. And is he going to pylon block this natural? No, the 2 drones kind of scare him off. So one is going to secure this natural expansion now for Swaggaholic, the swag addict, the addicted to swag. Drone doing a big old loop. He might even try and block this third base, I guess. No, he's not going to bother with that either. Drone's going to keep following him, though. Overlord gets a decent scout about how Spacemaggot's up here trying to throw down his natural expansion. He's got the money for it now, and kaboom, there it goes. So, natural coming up for both players. Don't you just love the first 5 minutes on a game, on a map like Daybreak? I think, okay, a couple of lings pop out, gonna ward this probe off, and I think he's probably not long for this world now, as lings usually beat workers. He diverts it. Nah, he's not gonna get anything done. I don't know what he was trying to do there. So, Swaggaholic now free to take a third base. Lings are just gonna pop around the outside of the mineral line there and make sure nothing fishy is going on. Dance around a little bit. And then go out and take some map control. Probably grab those Zelnaga towers. The front of the wall for Spacemaggot. Gateway finally on its way. Is he taking gas yet? Looks like he does have gas, and he is mining it. Just now started that, so by the time he gets Gateway down and the Cybernetics core down, he'll be plenty squared away to start Warp Gate technology if he decides to go down that route, which I'm sure he will. Zerg back at home is just making a queen. Droning up. Droning up. Droning up. 32 supply to 27, so not too different. Take a look at the units tab. Actually a worker advantage for Spacemaggot, so good for him. I guess that chrono boost is working hard. Cybernetics core, good chunk of the way down. This wall is just about finished. One worker going to hold that hole until a Zergling, or a Zealot can get out and plug it. And that Zealot is on its way. +1 ground weapons on its way out of the forge as well. So kind of a macro-oriented game coming out of both of these guys. These 2 lings still putting in work out here, just making sure no proxy Stargates are coming down in a funky position. Nothing like that. Creep sped is going to begin. And a robo facility on its way down out of Spacemaggot. Taking gas number 3 and gas number 4. Let's see, yeah. he does see that Overlord, and the Overlord does see the gas, so both of those guys not fooling each other over here. Sentry coming out for the Protoss. He'll have at least one sentry popping out. Old school style here. Churning it out of the gateway like some sort of fucking caveman without warp gate tech. That's not a bad move. He'll be able to start accruing energy, and by the time any Zerg pressure comes out, possibly have some force fields or a Guardian Shield, or just have some options available to him. I'd like to see that Zealot plug the hole right now. He's being a little bit careless. What do we have for the Zerg back at home? He's bumping himself up to Lair Tech. He's taking his Evo Chamber to begin his upgrades. He's got a Roach Warren coming down, so not sure if he plans to go like Roach Pressure or if he's just being a little bit defensive. But obviously kind of like a good option to have for ZvP. You don't want to be going up against shielded units with Banelings, so pretty typical fare so far. Bit of an Overlord party here hanging out in front of the natural. Good creep spread connecting the natural and the third, and it looks like it's actually going to start spreading its way up to this top left position for a future fourth perhaps. 3 more gas on the way for the Zerg, and he's begun Zergling speed. Observer now out for Spacemaggot, and he's going to just take a look around and see what he can see. He has not scouted the third base yet. He may actually be thinking that he's against a Zerg who's only on 2 base, and that would surprise me a bit. So he did see that come down. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to actually poke all the way up there and take a look at the third. No, he's bouncing back down. Okay, but now a bunch of Zerg units are going to run right past him. That ought to give him a clue, a bit of a clue. See those roaches? There you, yeah. Oh look, yeah, that creep. It actually goes somewhere. So, Spacemaggot knows what's up now. Supply still quite even, 88 to 80. Roach speed is on the way. Ground 1 Carapace is on the way out of this Evo chamber. See, a macro hatch is just about to finish up. So that'll be nice for Swaggaholic's production. He got that out almost on time. And what else? Spire. Spire coming down. Don't know if he's going to try to do Mutalisk play with that Spire, or if he just wants it up so he can get Corruptors in the event that Colossus come stomping across the map at him. But either way, it's not a bad thing to have. +1 ground armor coming up for Spacemaggot now, so he will be on +1/+1 shortly. Although he's not looking to be real aggressive. Couple of Immortals going to come down and... Ooh, he's got Zerglings poking at his third base. That's what he's moving for. So these Zerglings are going to get one kill, I think was all he got. Maybe 2. Let's take a look at workers killed. So 3 workers killed total for the Zerg. 1 was that first scouting probe, so I think he got 2 kills there. Either way, I think he lost more Zerglings than was probably worth it. 1 more cannon going to come down just to be safe. A 4th base on the way now for Swaggaholic. Swaggaholic adding on another Evo chamber and a dozen Mutalisks on the way out. So there's the answer to our question. He was not just being defensive. He's going to try and do a little bit of Mutalisk pressure with that. The Protoss getting the robotic support bay, so he will in fact be going for Colossi. Twilight Council on the way. Stargate on the way. So Spacemaggot kind of opening up all his tech paths here. Researching Hallucinate. +1 air weapons coming up for the Zerg. And we see these Mutalisks are just popping out now. And where are you guys going to rally off to? Okay, he's just going to kind of hover above this top northwest expansion slot here. And off they go. Going to go harass the main mineral line of his opponent. Blink on its way for the Stalkers on Spacemaggot's side of the map. 32 Lings coming out, so that's pretty significant. +1/+2 on the way for melee units. +1 air on its way out as well. Some Spore Crawlers going down just to be safe. But here come the Mutalisk, and there is nobody waiting to greet them here at the mineral line of the main here for Spacemaggot. So Spacemaggot's going to possibly take some damage. Only 4 Stalkers up against, what is this, 15 Mutalisks, so that's not a good place for those Stalkers to be. Although they are actually going to ward off the Mutas. He's Swaggaholic, that is, not willing to risk his Mutalisks right now. So he'll take a worker or 2 and kill off a pylon and then retreat. Now we'll have to see what Spacemaggot chooses to do in response to this information, now that he knows there's a bunch of Mulisks out. Huge group of Zerglings here. What's that? 77 lings on the field. And I think a big group of them are right here. So we might be looking at like a run-by here for this third base at Spacemaggot's base. And while they're just sitting there, I think I'm going to help myself to a little whiskey treat. Oh man, that is some cheap scotch. Okay, so big group of Zerglings with a few roaches behind it, going to push out, or at least threaten to. They're on 1-1. The roaches are on 1-0. +2 carapace, most of the way done, and an infestation pit coming out. So we'll see if Swag is going to transition into some infester play, or if he just wants to unlock hive tech. Big group of mutas now. How many are you? 3 times 8 is 24. 26 mutalisks, all in a row, and a 5th base coming up behind this. So I don't know what's going to be waiting for these 26 mutalisks. Oh, come on, you didn't learn the first time? And they're just going to focus down this nexus. Halfway done, and that's just more mutalisks coming. There's no response here from the Protoss. A bunch of Blink Stalkers show up, but it's too little too late, and Spacemaggot actually loses his main base. So now down to 2 base against a Zerg who is about to take his 5th. And 5 base Zerg going to be pretty happy against a 2 base Protoss. That said, this Protoss has been on 3 base for a long time. He's economically pretty squared away. He's been spending his money. He's not got like thousands and thousands of minerals sitting around, but he's certainly got a good looking army. Let's take a look at the army supply again. 108 to 105, so pretty near. That said, Zerg units not worth as much pound for pound as the Protoss units, so we'll have to wait and see. Swaggaholic about to max out pretty soon, making 34 more lings, and yes, he will be transferring into infestors. He's getting that pathogen glands upgrade so that they pop out with energy ready to spend. +2 melee attacks on its way. Back at home, Spacemaggot making some Archons. So he's going to add Archons into this Colossus, Immortal, Sentry, Blink Stalker composition of his. Here they are. +3 ground carapace on the way for the Zerg, and also getting adrenal glands. Here come those mutas, but a big group of cannons going to turn them away real quick. They'll get a free pylon out of it if they choose to take it, which it looks like they're not. But anyway, so like I'm saying, +2 melee, +3 carapace on its way for the Zerg melee units. And Ultralisk Cavern on the way, no great surprise there. He's obviously been sticking with the melee units the whole time. And he'll be in a real good shape once +2 and +3 finish up there, as well as adrenal glands, of course, an extra 20% attack speed for the lings, so that's always good. The Protoss doing some upgrades of his own, +2 ground armor and +3 weapons. So all of his ground units, which is his entire army, will be on +3 damage soon, and that's going to help him a lot against these upgraded lings and ultralisks, which are sure to be on their way. 8 more mutalisk popping out, and neural parasite actually being researched, as is just about every other thing the Zerg could possibly pay money for. Chitinous plating on the way, +3 air attack on the way, and a little bit of a skirmish here. These mutalisks show up one more time, and there's no cannons waiting, just the one now. But all this production is pretty much free for the taking here. There is a Protoss army sitting behind it, but they weren't in a good position to engage. So once again, the mutalisks duck in and get a kill or two and duck back out without losing a whole lot. Overlord sits here and just kind of smiles and approves. This guy's shitting creep on the field to prevent his opponent from taking this 4th base in the southeast. Looks like the mutalisks are going to cluster up again for another shot into the main, perhaps. +3 armor on the way now for Spacemaggot. Both players looking a little bit afraid to engage head-on, and saying that now, Spacemaggot's going to roll out with his 200 supplied death ball here. 3-2, he's about... he's a couple minutes away from finishing 3-3, but he's looking really nicely upgraded as far as damage So now that Swaggaholic knows he's being attacked, he's going to counterattack with all these Lings and these Mutas. Mutas hit the main and clear it out again. Lings are going to swarm right into the natural and try and get some damage done. Not sure even which engagement to look at. The Protoss army is just kind of competing with spine crawler walls and not a whole lot else here at Swaggaholic's 4th base, but look at all the damage that these Lings and Mutalisks are doing. The main is cleared out. The natural's just about cleared out. I don't know if he's going to shoot down into the 3rd and try and totally neuter the economy. Yeah, it looks like that's what he wants to do, but so many cannons. Holy shit, look how many cannons this is. Mutalisks are kind of like, they have a death wish or death blah. Yeah, they don't want to live no more if they're going to be flying into that. Lings come through and they chip away a few cannons, but that's not what they want to be doing. Bit of a base race scenario here, but Swaggaholic on so many more bases than Spacemaggot is. That said, his supply is quite a bit lower, and all of these Colossi, the 2-3 Colossus, and Immortals are just a shitload of damage, and they're not even being contested here. It looks like Swaggaholic, content with the damage he has done, he's going to come back, he's going to leave all those cannons behind, and he's going to try and compete with this army. He knows he has a few bases left standing, so he's not like in dire straits immediately, but in a moment or two he's going to start losing his tech structures, and that's going to be horrible, because once he's producing nothing but Lings, he's going to be an unhappy camper. Muta's still kind of not knowing where to go with themselves. They're not engaging this big Stalker and Archon ball, and I can't really blame them, but it'd be nice if they could get in here and pick off a Colossus really quick or do something. But it looks like they're just going to kind of swirl around the map and go nowhere. These Immortals, these Colossi, just doing incredible damage. Swaggaholic's going to lose his Hive, he's losing his Macro Hatch, he's already lost his Ultralisk Cavern. Looks like his Spire's going to be next. Evo Chambers are going to go down the tubes. What is he going to have remaining after this? As far as production, nothing. And his spawning pool is down. He's going to be completely shit out of luck. It looks like his super cheesy minefield of cannons is actually going to win him this game, because the Lings and the Mutalisks just simply cannot engage into this. So Spacemaggot down to 1 base, and you know what he's going to do? He's just going to keep building more cannons, and there's no option but to try. So Swaggaholic comes in with Lings, comes in with Mutalisks. I don't know if he'd be better off trying to depower all this or just knocking down the cannons. He is taking them down pretty quickly, but those numbers are thinning rapidly, as we can see. The 3rd base of Swaggaholic falling to that Protoss ball. Just take a quick look at that. Yeah, not a whole lot here. A few Spine Crawlers, not going to slow him down much. But what is being slowed down is all these Mutalisks. He's got 17 remaining, but it looks like he is actually going to manage to depower all these cannons. That's a beautiful job. So he's got like a moment before more pylons start popping up and repowering all these. It's actually already passed. Spacemaggot was quick to repower those, which was a great defensive maneuver on his behalf. And there's nothing that, you know, half a dozen Mutalisks are going to be able to do against this. And he does. He GG's. So that was a pretty reasonable base race in the end. I did not expect it to go that way. We saw the Zerg tried to get another spawning pool up so that he could produce something, but that was a little too late. I didn't expect that to happen. Huge economic advantage for Swaggaholic the majority of that game, but he pulled it out. Or no, he didn't pull it out. He got pulled out of when Spacemaggot rammed it up his ass. So GG for the Spacemaggot. This has been Inglewood with Killing Esports. I will catch you guys next time.